Los Angeles. On Friday morning, Lakers coach Frank Vogel went to the team's El Segundo practice facility to see for himself how close his best player was to returning. The Lakers haven't had a full team practice in more than a week, so even though LeBron James had been flying around the court in individual workouts, he couldn't be sure how the 36-year-old was going to look with the group around him. Even though the team has looked vulnerable without James, clawing to an 8-12 record, Vogel said the Lakers could hold out longer if James needed. "I gave him full support if he wanted to take more time," Vogel said. "And he came in tonight and made the decision when he got to the arena that he was going to play." James returned from a right high ankle sprain for the first time since March 20. A span of 20 games that clocks in as the longest absence of his NBA career, was as enigmatic as James' recovery process, which has largely taken place behind closed doors. The Thursday evening injury report before the Friday game against the Kings listed James as out. But by Friday morning, as reports leaked that James was looking to make a return, the Lakers officially upgraded him to questionable for tip-off. With less than 2 hours to game time, the team officially graded him as available after he had done an on-court workout. James himself had left a trail of breadcrumbs on social media, giving a weather report forecasting a storm coming, a euphemism for his return. He also posted a black and white video of him running down the court. Questions still remained: how much had James worked out with his teammates? When did James' rehab end and training and conditioning begin? Vogel declined to comment on James' workouts before the start of the game. "He's just progressing, he's been progressing each day," Vogel said. "He's been doing his work. Obviously, he's worked extremely hard, extremely diligently, as you would expect from him to get his body back right. He thought coming off this trip that it's time for him to return to the lineup, so we're excited to have him back." When James came back from his groin tear in 2019, he had a similar sudden progression on the day of his comeback game against the Clippers. His coach at the time, now Kings coach Luke Walton, said he was caught off guard by James' change in status Friday morning after his coaches' meeting, but he was able to adjust by the time the staff met with the players. After coaching James during that season, Walton said he understood how James would be approaching a comeback with such urgency. "I think with this team struggling, he sees that they need to get going before the playoffs," Walton said. "So I would expect him to come in with that same type of killer mentality that he plays with pretty much every time he plays basketball." The Lakers haven't made any future decisions regarding James' availability for the final 9 games, a slate that includes 4 sets of back-to-back games.